So it's January 19th, and I got a pretty big channel update for you. So I've spent the last week doing nothing but going over Google Maps and figuring out what my plans are for the next coming months. And so I've got 5 major trips planned between now and June with Power Tour, starting with Sick Week. We're headed to Florida to go down to Orlando to spend the week and see people like Tom Bailey, Cletus McFarland, Steve Morris, a whole bunch of them. After that, we plan on coming back down to Missouri to see the solar eclipse on April the 8th. We have a plan to go back down to Daytona for Rockville because my daughter turned 17, and so we're going to take her for her birthday to the music concert that's at the Daytona Speedway. After that, we come back, and on the 18th is Automotion, which is the big Wisconsin Dells car show that starts off the year. That's usually when we take the cars out, we do the burnout competition and make sure anything that's going to break breaks before Power Tour, because then on June 10th, we head to, well, actually before that, we're heading to Gatlinberg to start our Power Tour trip. We're going to stay in the mountains for a couple days on the weekend before we head to Kentucky to start the journey for the Hot Rod Power Tour 2024. The first leg of our journey on Sick Week, we plan to stop in Gatlinberg, Tennessee at Mountain Loft Resort. We're going to stay for 2 days before we head to Orlando, where we are actually staying in another resort we have a timeshare at called The Fountains. We plan on staying there Sunday and Monday night. Tuesday, we are headed to Daytona Beach for another resort with a timeshare. We're staying there for 2 days, and then we are moving up the beach to Ormond Beach because that's where the checkpoint is from where they'll be coming back from Georgia and headed back to Orlando for the final day of Sick Week, which then we plan on going and filming the last day. After that, we don't have any place to stay for 2 days, but we'll be traveling up to Branson, Missouri, where we have another resort we're going to stay at for a couple of days. So we made I think it's about a 13-day trip with only 2 days that we don't know where we're actually staying, because we're basically going to see what time they get done racing on Friday, how long we want to stay in Orlando, and how much I want to drive. So we're probably going to head to somewhere in northern Florida or close to like around the Georgia border, stay a night, get up the next morning and finish driving probably up to like Memphis, maybe see what kind of things we can find in Memphis, stay there for the night, and then head to Branson. And then, like I said, we have 2 days there. So should be an amazing trip. And so the next trip planned is to go down and see the solar eclipse of 2024. We were lucky enough to go and see it in 2017 and managed to find the best spot you can imagine, right on the Missouri River, and got to see it for, I believe, 2 minutes and 40 seconds in totality. It was an amazing thing to see, and it doesn't happen very often. The next time it happens is April 8th on 2024. So depending on the weather, I'm not sure exactly where we're going, but my current plan is to go south of St. Louis, somewhere by the Missouri and Illinois border, and hopefully on the banks of the Mississippi, I get to see the next full solar eclipse. For our third trip we have planned, we're going to head to Daytona Beach, Florida again for Rockville. It's a concert that goes from May 9th through the 12th of 2024. Foo Fighters, Motley Crue, Slipknot, Jelly Roll, tons of bands. I believe there's over 140 total. After that, for the weekend of May 17th through the 19th, we have Automotion in Wisconsin Dells. It's their 38th annual, and there's a burnout competition that we'd like to go to up at the bar at Edge O'Dell's. It's usually a good time to test and make sure that there's nothing wrong with the car before we head out for Power Tour. And I go pretty much every year. Which brings us up to the Hot Rod Power Tour 2024. I've already got my tickets and all of my hotel stays booked. Before we actually go to the Power Tour, I believe we're going to spend the weekend in Gatlinberg, Tennessee again. My daughter is planning on going with me on the Power Tour, and she wants to stay in the Smoky Mountains. We were hoping to stay there and go to Bristol, but they changed the beginning to go to Kentucky. Which will bring us up to Bowling Green, Kentucky for day 1 of the Hot Rod Power Tour. We are at Beach Bend Raceway, and the hotel that I picked seems to have a dead-end driveway, and looks like it's already been done up with some burnouts. So we're hoping to have some great hotel parties on the first couple days of the Hot Rod Power Tour, as we're staying Sunday and Monday night in Bowling Green. For day 2 of the Hot Rod Power Tour, we are headed to Nashville Super Speedway. The route isn't out yet, and this is currently the closest track to the Kentucky. However, I'm sure we're going to take some back roads, and it's going to be a fun, exciting route when the route does come out. After a day of probably some drag racing and autocrossing, I have a hotel that we booked in downtown Nashville, walking distance from the main bar area on Broadway Street. So I figure I'm going to go listen to some live music on Tuesday night in downtown Nashville. And on Wednesday morning, we get up and we head to Louisville, Kentucky, to the L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium, where this is the only place that is not a racetrack. So I'm not sure if we're going to have autocross set up in a parking lot somewhere, or if this is just going to be a large car show that day. That night in Louisville, I got a hotel that's located around a whole bunch of other hotels, and I'm assuming they'll be packed full of Power Tour cars, and then we'll get up in the morning and head to Ohio. So then on Thursday morning, day 4 of the Hot Rod Power Tour, we are headed to Ohio to National Trail Raceway, where it's another drag strip, and most likely they'll have autocross set up here for us too. For our hotel that night, we're going to stay east of Columbus, and I don't think there's a whole lot of hotels in the area, but we'll have to see who ends up booking that hotel with us. Well, for the final day of the Hot Rod Power Tour, we are headed to Indianapolis, Indiana, and we are headed to Lucas Oil Raceway Park. I do not have a hotel stay for that night, as most people end up just getting their long hauler plaque and basically start to disperse and head back home. We have a short enough drive that I could drive all the way home, or we may stop somewhere and rent a hotel halfway there. Just depends on how tired I am and how everything's going that day. With the next 6 months booked up with travel plans, I am really excited for 2024. I feel like this is going to be an amazing year, and I'm even more excited to get out of the sub-zero temperatures and the 18 inches of snow that's in my backyard. So this is currently the snow that I'm dealing with in my backyard. Tonight is actually supposed to be a low of -6. Tomorrow is only a high of 10, and then a low of -10 for tomorrow night. So I could definitely go for some warmer weather and get out of this snow for a little while. And get down to the beach where I can hang out next to the ocean and even get up and watch the sun come out of the water. So if you've made it this far into the video and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that button, because you're going to want to follow along with this adventure.